Hello folks, and welcome back to Miami Bitcoin 2022. We're going to be doing the Daily Crypto Byte here with myself and Dr. J.
Bang! Great to be here with you, CJ.
Oh, likewise. It's been a really interesting day. It's day 2, of course. We're going to have all of the retail participants coming through, while yesterday was just institution day. First impressions, John, anything notable? I know you were here last year.
Yeah, well, as you and I saw last year, the crowds were thick. There'll be bigger crowds this year, but we got a lot more room. I mean, Mina Wynwood is a great spot, but it's awfully crowded, and you can't get nearly as many people in the main hall either for the lectures or the panel discussions.
Yeah, well, in terms of the market, it seems that we are still somewhat in lockstep with the equity market as well as the NASDAQ, Qs, things of that sort. Any thoughts or views on the Fed meeting yesterday, as well as the future price action for equity markets?
When the Fed moves rates up, and when Lael Brainerd, from the Fed, talked about 50 basis point moves, plural, even though I've always doubted that they're going to make that move, and I think if they do, they should just do it and not tell us they're going to do it, CJ. But as they make those moves, obviously it makes investments in banks, as in deposits, a little more attractive because you're getting some yield rather than almost nothing that you were getting before. So that's a competitor to, obviously, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of the coins. However, I think ultimately the coins continue to trade to the upside. I'm really looking, CJ, at the NFT world and how much trading is done. It's almost all ETH. It's kind of like, okay, you got OpenSea as the platform and you got ETH as the currency that people use to buy and sell these NFTs. And it falls off dramatically from there. You go to Solana and then Avalanche, and then everything else is like nothing. I mean, they're like 1%. Solana's up there and maybe they're pushing to 4 or 5%, and Avalanche, and it's all Ethereum. I mean, every day when I look at that volume, it's all Ethereum. So I think that is why you can, even with the high gas fees, I think that's why you see Ethereum as the one that you want to own.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, it's really interesting that Solana has been having some really strong price action throughout the last couple weeks, aside from the last couple days. But that's based on the recent integration that they're also going to be in OpenSea as well. So hopefully good
that's
for some...
That's going to be huge for them.
Oh, yeah.
And you've been saying that for a while. You and Monty have been saying that, and that's going to ring true. Solana, it's really going to be that three-way race. It's going to be Ethereum, Solana, and Avalanche. And everybody else that's there, they're going to try to jump over those other guys. I don't know if they'll make it.
I think Near and Luna, or the Terra ecosystem, they have a good shot. They have definitely a good shot, strong backers. But that I have you here now, can you talk a little bit about your NFT collection that you're coming out with?
Sure. We're go over to the zombiecollective.com, and you can see Tom Lee's zombie, Anthony Scary Mucci, which we named him Scary Mucci instead of Scaramucci. And he's got a big conference coming up, by the way, in the Bahamas. Salt Bahamas Crypto is coming up, I think, the end of April, 26th through 28th or something like that. But we've got a whole bunch of those guys, honorariums that are going out to those guys. And then we've got dead presidents, live presidents. So we've got the zombie presidents that we're rolling out. And then we're going to do Adam Carolla's car collection, which will be really cool. So you can find out all about it. Join the Discord over at thezombiecollective.com.
That's awesome. Can't wait to check it out.
Cool.
Also, Dan Moorhead, CIO and CEO of Pantera Capital, the oldest cryptocurrency fund, recently published a pretty bullish report talking about how Bitcoin and crypto and blockchain technology in general could be one of the most desirable sectors to go into in a rising rate environment as investors potentially flee bonds and stocks. Do you have any views on that?
I do, and I think Dan would have been much righter, quicker, had it not been for the terrible war in Ukraine. I think an awful lot of money, CJ, was put into Bitcoin and Ethereum in particular by people in Russia that feared what might happen to the ruble. Obviously, the ruble came all the way back, but they were basically using that as a method to move the money into Dubai and other places that really are hard for the world to stop. So if you've got all that pressure of them selling back out of Bitcoin and Ethereum, that was some of the pressure, I think, that came. Without that selling pressure on those as they flipped into various other, fiat currencies, I think Dan would have been right, as he's been right many times in his career. I think he would have been more right quicker. But I think overall, by year end, Dan's going to be right, and hopefully, with the war over, we're not going to see as much pressure from people moving across borders, Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah, I can understand the skepticism some have around that rising rate environment. I hope we see some bullish price action, though. It should be really interesting.
I think
Last
we will.
question. Commodity prices have been really interesting lately, obviously affecting not only crypto, but the broader equity markets. What's your views on oil? Do you think good chance we've seen a top, or
Nope.
Okay.
I don't think, because I think more and more pressure is going to ramp up, CJ, on Europe and then the United States to wean us off of Russian oil and gas. If Europe does it, they go straight into a recession. Germany goes into recession. That's the biggest economy in Europe. They go straight into a recession. Luckily, they didn't shut down all of their nukes, which is why we're seeing, CCJ, Camco, the uranium producer.
I love their uranium plays.
UUUU, 4 U's. That's why we've seen those moving up so fast, because Germany is now competing again for those fuels, uranium in this case for nukes. They still have 6 that they were going to close by year end. Now they're not going to close them. That's clean energy. It's good, and it's one of the only ways they can wean themselves off of Russian oil and gas. But I think overall it's going to be hard for prices to moderate at all if Russia becomes the pariah that they are and just sells to India, China, Brazil, because that's where they're going to sell. They're going to sell coal to India and China because Europe is going to put a block on it. That'll put, when they announced that 2 days ago, CJ, in Rotterdam, the coal futures were up 400%. So when that finally kicks in, all of these, it's a circular firing squad, really. If you cut off Russian oil and coal and gas, what have you got? You can't get enough out of the rest of the world to feed Europe, let alone the United States. So I think prices stay high for at least a year, maybe 18 months. And by high, I mean, maybe they break 100 here and there, but it's going to keep moving up. And I don't think we've seen the top yet.
Interesting. Appreciate your thoughts on that.
Thank you, sir.
Also, if you'd like to learn more about our crypto community and our trade insights that we publish on a weekly basis, you can check out the link in the description below, also at marketrebellion.com/try crypto. John, what do you got going on today at the conference? Any speaking
I'm
roles?
sure you're going to be shocked, but on stage I'm going to be talking to 3 traders, all had been with big investment banks like Goldman Sachs, like BNP Paribas and things like that. And they're crypto traders now. They used to run trading desks at those other big banks and so forth, but now they're trading crypto. And as you and I know, but I think most of the audience doesn't, people think you can only trade options on Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is true. Those are the only 2 that are listed on the CME, and they're the major ones around the world. But altcoins trade like crazy, the options on altcoins, and they have various, if you want to call them smart contracts or whatever, they have pre-packaged put sales, pre-packaged covered rights, which is the same as a put sale, for Luna, for Avalanche, for a whole bunch of alternative currencies that people that think it's all just options on Bitcoin and Ethereum, you're wrong. We're going to be talking to the traders that actually trade that stuff, tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars of that every week.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time, John.
Boom.
Should be a great conference.
I agree. Thank you for all the great work, CJ.
Appreciate it.
Check it out, folks.